So we have the 3 over 4 and x over 16. And the term I want to use, you've probably heard it before, it's a term called cross multiply. You've heard the term before? I know it's a term, and I hate it because the reason why I hate it because when I say cross multiply, then every other fraction you ever do ever again, first thing you try to do is cross multiply, even if you can't use cross multiplication. But in any case, that's what we're going to do here. So we have 3 over 4 equals my x over 16. The shortcut is take my 16, multiply it by 3, take my 4, multiply it by the x. Now they don't show you this part here in the example up here. They just do this piece right here. But I want to work it out completely. So it looks like this. Now we have 3 times 16 equals 4x. Now you can see where the 48 comes from. So 48 is here. And we have 4x over here. This is when we get back to our algebra a little bit. And now you're going to see why they do the division right here. Because what happens, we need to get the x by itself. In order to do that, we have to divide by 4. So it's 48 divided by 4 equals 4x over 4. And the 4's will cancel. And 4 into 48 goes 12 times. And that's my x value. And that's how we're going to be doing ratios and proportions. Proportions. Let's have a look at some examples. I'll give you some examples down here. And we'll set them up and we'll try them. And then we'll do some questions like down below, word problems using ratio and proportion. And I'll show you how to set those up. Because setting them up is the trickiest part. So let's have a look at the first one. Oops. So if we're solving for x, I have a ratio here, and we said before the last time or the time before that when we set these up in a situation like this, it's going to be the first one goes on top, so it's going to be 12 over 45 equals x over 15. Now, I'm just going to fix that a bit. When we have one like this only happens when the x is on the top. When we have a situation where the x is on the top, like right here, we're going to take an even shorter shortcut. We don't need to fully cross multiply. So all we need to do really is just do this one here. Take this one, times by that one. And what I mean by that, you'll just see how it happens. If I go 12 times 15 over 45, it just saves me an extra step where I haven't got to divide it by 45 again later. And 12 times 15. And 12 times 15. Oops. It gives me 180. 180 over 45. That gives me the x. And dividing it by 45. I get 4. So you see that time I didn't do the full cross multiply. I could, but then I ended up dividing by 45 anyway. When the x is in the denominator and the bottom, you have to completely cross multiply. I'll do one like that now in a second. Let's look at number 3. That's not what I'm talking about. Number 3, we had this one here. We had 25 and 45, 75 and x. So when we set this one up, it's going to look a little different. It's going to be 25 over 45 equals 75 over x. This time the x is on the bottom, and it's a little more complicated. So you have to completely cross multiply this time. So what happens, we take the x and times by 25, so it gives us 25x on the left-hand side. And we have 75 times 45 on the right-hand side. And 75 times 45, that gives us 3,375. And that's equal to 25x. And now my x is equal to, I'm skipping a step here, so you know, so you're aware. I'm just dividing by 25. You can divide both sides as I did in the last example, but again, taking a little shortcut, dividing by 25. I want to divide by 25. I get 135. So in that case here, we really had to actually multiply, cross multiply both sides like that, the x times 25. Let's try number 9. Trying to trick you here in number 9 because he's throwing a question mark at you, but we know question marks simply mean the x value. So we have 2 over 26. So cross multiplying once more, we want to have 2 multiplied by the x and the 4 multiplied by 26. And 4 times 26. When I hurt my brain this morning, 104. So 2x is equal to 104. And my x value is 104. Sorry, yeah, 104 divided by 2, which makes it 52. I want to show you something else as well. Remember, I've said to you before many times that there's, in most cases, there's more than one way to do a question in math. I want to show you how to do this one a little differently. Alright? So what I mean by that, when you notice this right here, you look right at 2 over 26, you can see that that can easily be reduced. So if you want to, before you do cross multiply, especially if you have large numbers that you can see you can reduce right away, you can reduce them and then cross multiply. And it looks like this. So 2 will divide into 2 once. Oops, I'm going to change the color. So I'll have 2 over 26 equals 4 over x. 2 over 26 can be reduced to 1 over 13. I have 4 over x. So I reduced the fraction before I started. Then I cross multiply. 1 times x equals 13 times 4. And you can see the x is equal to 52. So sometimes if you simplify first, it makes the numbers a little easier to use, a little easier to play with. But let's just sit at the same answer. Question? So, any questions on how to do all that stuff? Cross multiplying things? You're all good? You pretty good? Alright, so looking at your textbook here, finding a book again right here. It looks like the next set of questions are going to be on converting. They give you this piece of information right here, 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, and they ask you to convert these. So let's try some of those. Let's try the first one. So they give you this piece of information right here, 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. That's going to be your equivalence statement. So it's going to be looking at this 1 kilogram. So the LBS is the abbreviation for pounds. We don't use pounds much these days, but it's an old English unit. And they still use it in the US, so we still have to talk about it. So in any case, 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So they have it set up like this, and we want to convert 16.4 kilograms into pounds. So to do that, I want to show you again two ways which you can do this. I want to use the first way like this because it's already set up for us. So this is 1 kilogram, 1 kg equals 2.2 pounds. The reason why I'm using this video because it just comes like this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave it as this and have 16.4 kilograms. So what I'm going to do is put kilograms over kilograms. That's over x. Then I do my cross multiplication. And I have x kilograms, or 1 times x kilograms. I want to keep the units tagging along, so you get used to seeing it, because you're going to be seeing it a lot in chemistry if you're doing chemistry. So in this, I want to have 16.4 times 2.2. This is going to be kilogram, pound. What? Kilogram, pounds? Yep. Just my body units, keep them there tagging along, same as always. Now we're going to multiply those two numbers together. So I'm going to have 16.4 times 2.2. That gives us 36.08. You notice what's going to happen. The units are still the same. We have kilogram, pound. Then on the other side, we're going to have to take this is x kilograms. So now my x is equal to 36.08 kilograms times pound. It should be an S. And now you'll see what happens when I divide by 1 kilogram. Kilogram unit cancels. And I'm left with x equals 36.08 pounds. I'm just going to show you another way to do that. Show you another way, and then I'll show you the wrong way. So back to the same question. You know the answer already. I want to show it to you this way. We have the statement right here, again, same as before. But this time I'm going to write down a little differently. I'm going to go 1 kilogram over 2.2 pounds. What? Why would you do that? Well, sometimes you see it that way as well. But if it's written this way, I just leave it the same way. But you can do it this way. And if you do it this way, be very careful, because what you do, make sure your kilograms line up with kilograms, pounds with pounds. So right here I'm going to have 16.4 kilograms over X, which is in pounds. Notice that if I have kilograms on the top here, I'll make sure that they're on the top over here. If it's on the bottom, I'll put them on the bottom. So make sure that everything lines up, basically. Back here, they lined up, but they lined up a little differently. They lined up and down. See? So now, if I cross multiply, you're going to see what happens. I have 1 times X kilogram equals 2.2 pounds minus 16.4 kilograms. And if we look back at the previous one, you'll see it's exactly the same. Okay, so you can do it that way. You can write them down this way, as long as you line them up properly again. It's going to work out to be the same. But do not do this. Okay? Say 16.4, say 1 kilogram. So after this, do not put the kilograms like that, or pounds like that. They're not lined up properly. So either you line them up like this, or you line them up like this. Do not mix them up. What I did, in case you didn't get that, I don't see that. What I did, took this one, turned it upside down, down here. Do not do that. It'll give you the wrong answer. So the first two ways to do it are fine, but if you mix up the units, put them the wrong way, you'll be wrong. It'll come up wrong. Because what happens if I cross multiply now? I'm going to get 16.4 kilograms squared. And you don't want to use it like that. Make sense? So this is the wrong way. Alright. Okay. Having fun. We did kilograms a pound. Let's do a pound per kilogram. Let's try this one. £16 a kilogram. So we know that 1 kilogram, this is what they told us already. 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds. And since they wrote it down like that, the easiest thing to do is just to leave that like that, and you have pounds this time, so pounds would go under pounds. And over here we have an X. So cross multiplying like we did before, this one times this one. I have 1 times 16. 1 times 16 pounds kilogram. I'm going to have x times 2.2 pounds. Sorry? It's just one, yeah, one kilogram. No. If there is, run away. Don't do it. All conversion factors will look like that for the most part. It can be different, but not normally. And if it is different, usually you can reduce it down to 1. So, continuing on, we have 16 pounds kilogram divided by 2.2 pounds. Notice this time that the pounds unit will cancel. It's equal to x. Oops. This time the pounds unit cancel, and I have 16 divided by 2.2. So it's like this. It gives me 7.270. Are we all cool with that? So that's converting. We're converting from pounds to kilograms and kilograms to pounds. So let's try something new. Right here, this is an important table. I'm not going to ask you to memorize it. These are approximate equivalents. I'm just going to hang on a second. I'm going to show you something. All right. Let's have a look at the book again. So this chart right here, I'll throw it in your notes so you have it there. But I'm not going to make you memorize it, as I said. If you're doing the assignment at home, keep the chart close to you because you'll need it. I'll put it in your notes. And I'll show you something first before I move on, how to use it, how to set this up. You'll notice what they have it set up, they kind of broke it up into boxes like this one and this one and this one. But what it really looks like is basically like this. 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. Over here, 1 cup is equal to 8 ounces. Well, I just had a little chuckle because I do a lot of the cooking, and of course I use a lot of times I use All Recipes, which basically I think is an American website for recipes. So they give all the ingredients listed in ounces. So I got to do the conversion to whatever I needed and so I can make something that tastes half decent. So this stuff actually has real life applications. All right. So basically, these are conversion charts. You're not going to memorize them, but just keep them close by. You can bring them into the test with you too. If you forget them in the test, I'll throw them on the board like this, and you'll have them available. If I forget on the test that you make these available, just remind me and I'll throw it up there. Lots of times what they'll do on the test, they'll actually give you the conversion factor in the question, like this right here. They'll actually give it to you right there, like that. Now, I'm going to take this first one here, for example, and just talk about that one for a second. It says set up these conversions right here. Set up these conversions using ratios and proportions. So you can see what they did here. You notice they did this right here. I'll show you now. Like this. They did 1 yard and 3 feet. So we know, for example, if we look back at that chart right here, 1 yard is 3 feet. So you can set up the conversion like this. They did it this way. They said 1 yard over 3 feet. But you can do it this way and it's equally correct. If you said 1 yard equals 3 feet, and you put feet over 23 feet, you can have 23 feet over X yards. So even though they did it this way, even though they set it up this way down here is equally correct. If, for example, if you're doing the assignment or test and you put it in like this, and the question was looking for it like that, and the marks are wrong for some reason, you probably won't, but if it does, I can fix it for you. Make sure you remind me, give you the marks. I'm just going to do a couple of these. I'm not going to get too much into them because it's basically the same as the version we did a minute ago. I'm just trying number 2. $18 quarts is how many gallons? I don't know. No idea. Oh, seriously. First of all, look back at your chart. You can see down here that 1 gallon right here is actually 4 quarts. So coming down here, I can go 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. And if I want to use it like that and set up the ratio this way, I can just keep quarts under quarts, which is probably the easiest way to set this up. 18 quarts over X gallons. When I cross multiply, I'm going to have 1 times 18 gallon quart and 4X quart. Then I have to divide by 4 quarts. So I have 18 gallons. 18 divided by 4 quarts. Was my X. So then quarts will cancel. You'll notice here. Bye bye. Bye bye. And we're left with the units gallon. This cancellation is really useful because what will happen if we're looking for gallons, once we do the cancellation, you'll notice that we are left with the unit we're looking for. And that's a good indication that we probably did it right. And then our calculator, 18 divided by 4. 4.5. So how does that stuff feel? These conversion stuff? Feeling pretty good? Want to see another example or we move on to something else? Moving on. Moving on. Here we go. If you want me to go over that with you a bit more later on, just ask me. I just do this so many times. I just get bored with it actually. So my bad. But if you need some more refresher with it, I don't mind going over it again. That's no problem. But if we've seen it already, it's not a big deal. But, if you do want some more practice with it, I'll definitely go over it. And the reason why I want to move on is because I want to get into this part right here. We probably won't have time to get much into it today, but word problems in proportions are going to be a part of this course and a part of the test and the assignments. And of course, word problems is where the confusion really starts. It's like, what? I don't get it. And the worst part about it is that no one likes word problems, but word problems are what we face every day. Every time we have a situation, it's basically a word problem. All right, so let's look down here at number 9. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to break this down and get the information you need out of this question. So look at number 1, for example. It says a caplet contains 325 milligrams of medication. How many caplets contain 975 milligrams of medication? You're like, oh, I don't know. 5? It's good, I don't know. No, it's good guess. So the thing with these stuff here is setting up your equivalent statements and your ratios to start with. So when I read this, I see a caplet. So the A is basically 1. And that contains, oops, and that contains 325. So this is our equivalent statement right here. So 1 at 1 caplet is equal to 325 milligrams. Over here, you see I have 975 milligrams. Now that I know how to set these things up, keep the milligrams lined up, what I'm going to do is take the 975, put it down here, 975, under the milligrams that I just set up. Over here is my X for caplets. Cross multiplying looks like this. I have 975 caplets and milligram equals X times 325 milligrams. Then I'm going to solve for X, so I have to divide both sides by 325, or just simply do this, 975 Notice I'm keeping the units because it's going to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. 325 on the bottom. And that equals my X value. Noticing again, the milligrams cancel with milligrams. And I'm left with the unit the question is asking me for. So, capsules, sorry. If you think my printing is bad, you should see my writing. It's really bad. So, you can calculate it. Looks like this. We have 975 divided by 325, and the answer is 3. Yeah. And we are out of time.